Hey guys, it's Ngolela. Welcome to another episode of the Ngolela Show. So today's topic is going to be probably one of the more serious ones, and I just felt like I wanted to talk about this because I just got back from traveling recently, and something happened and it just kind of stuck out in my mind. First off, this has nothing to do with what I'm going to talk about, but when traveling, if a flight is supposed to leave, say for example at 6:45, you don't show up at 6:44 and then yell at the person at the desk saying the flight wasn't supposed to leave until 6:45. I don't know. This is what happened. I'm sitting there waiting and this guy rushes up. The flight before me had already left and he got mad saying it wasn't supposed to leave till 6:45. But I don't know if he'd never flown before, but they start boarding at least 30 or 40 minutes before. And then once everyone's on, they make the announcements. If nobody comes, they have to push back. So that made me mad because the lady at the desk was just doing her job. She did everything she was supposed to do. And then he got mad saying that they were calling his girlfriend, but she's like, that's the number that was provided here. Anyways, you have to have some sympathy for people because this lady, I really wanted to say something, but I didn't. But I'm sure he saw me staring like, are you really serious? Anyways, also while I was waiting for my flight, there was this guy, a girl, and this little boy. He was probably maybe like 2 or 3. And the little boy was a little fussy, but then the mom gave him like an iPad or something, so then he was fine. But then when the mom would get up to try to go to the bathroom, the little boy would cry because he wanted to be with the mom. Understandable. That's how kids can be. Or anyone. Maybe you just want to hang out with a certain person. But so the guy that was with them, it wasn't the boy's dad, just because I wasn't eavesdropping on the conversation. They were right next to me. So I heard everything they were talking about. And they both looked really young, it just has to do with what happened. So the boy's getting cranky and cranky. Mind you, this was it had to be like 6, at this point, it's like 6:45 in the morning. Because I love early morning flights. I like to get the earliest flight I can get. So obviously this boy had to be up at like 4 or 5 to make it to the airport. So he's probably tired. And then he was like sneezing, so he was probably sick too. Anyways, the boy kept crying and crying, and then the mom's like, oh, it's okay, we're going to go on the plane soon. She's trying to console him, but then eventually she had to use the bathroom, and the boy was distracted by the iPad, so he didn't realize she had left, so he starts kind of whining again, like, oh, mama, mama. And then the guy was like, oh, stop that. It's not going to work with me, buddy. It'll work with her. It's not going to work with me. And I'm like, why would you say that to a child? Like, he's like, oh, it's not going to work. And then the mom heard, because she was standing in line, she heard the little boy crying, so she got out of line again. But I'm like, how are you going to say to this child, it's not going to work with me, when he's just frustrated that his mom's not there? And then even when the mom came back, she said that, she's like, oh, he's acting this way because he was with his father. And I was just like, okay. But it seemed to me like he was acting like that because he didn't want to stay with this guy, who was her boyfriend, by the way. And then his reply to that was, oh, just wait till we get to, our hotel. I'm just going to put him in the room, close the door, and I have Bluetooth on my phone. So, I don't even have to go in to change the music. I'm just going to close the door and leave him in there. And I was like, what? How can you say that? And the mom didn't even say anything. It's like, this guy who you're like, oh, I love you, because they were so close and saying that and stuff, is saying he's going to put your child in a room at the hotel, close the door, and just play loud music so he doesn't have to hear the kid. And I know everybody else around me was like, is he serious? And I felt so mad. I felt so bad for the boy. I was really sitting there thinking, like, what can I do to help this situation? I wanted to say something, but what do I say? It's like, I'm not going to be with them once we get off the flight. But it just reminded me back when I was doing my undergrad, what I wanted to do initially was I wanted to go into social work because I wanted to take kids out of bad homes. What I really, really wanted to do was be some sort of undercover social worker or something. So when I see a child being mistreated or something like that, I can just snatch them, like flash my badge and snatch them legally, of course. But I don't even know if that's even a job that exists. But that was something I wanted to do and it's something I'd still love to do because I'm very passionate about taking kids out of bad situations, helping kids, all that stuff. Even when I was younger, little, I remember saying I wanted to buy a really, really big house and just have a bunch of kids in it and take care of them. Like I just have a nurturing spirit about me, and kids love me and all of that stuff. But I say all that to just say, whether it's your own child or a family member or whatever, just please be careful about who you introduce to your children and who you allow around your children and who you leave your children with. If you follow the Shade Room on social media, on Instagram, they actually posted recently this video. It was one of those like ring cams at the front door of this lady just dropping off a 2-year-old at the door, ringing the doorbell and scurrying away. And the poor 2-year-old was there at the door all alone. Come to find out, it was the friend, quote unquote friend, some friend of the mother, I believe, dropping the kid off at the father's house because the father wasn't answering the phone or something. But what was happening even before this kid got dropped off? She was holding him by one arm, dropped him off in the dark alone, and didn't even wait for anyone to open the door. And these things frustrate me. They make me so angry. There's so many people that have kids that should not have them, and there's so many people that want to have kids and can't have them. And it literally breaks my heart. I just feel like overall, there's so many crazy things going on in the world. The least we can do is at least make sure our kids are fine, kids we know are fine. We have to make better choices. And I don't want to excuse this lady at the airport, her behavior, because she was young. She was really they looked like, if they weren't teenagers, they were probably like early 20s or something like that. But there's no excuse. But I just felt so bad. I literally just wanted to hold the kid and just like hold him and, oh, what are you watching? Or, oh, I like this show or something, because that's what he needed. Everybody there was probably tired. I'm a morning person, so I was like wide awake. So it doesn't bother me either when kids like cry on flights. It happens. Everyone's different on flights. But this was probably like a few days ago, and it just has been sitting with me. I'm really like, I hope that little boy's okay. I hope that girl breaks up with that guy. I don't know. It shook me, and things kind of just stay with you. And so anyways, we have to make sure we're watching who we leave our children with. We're watching our friends, quote unquote friends, because if you want to go out and you have kids and you're saying, oh, I'll leave them with my friend, there's some people that you can know them in different ways. They act one way maybe at work, they act one way when they're out of work, and they act another way, when they're with their family or something. Just because you may be able to have fun with someone and go out and get food and stuff doesn't mean you can trust them with your child. I'm thankful that whenever I have kids, like my family is really big, so I have a lot of people that I can rely on when it comes to that. But hopefully I can just be with my kid all the time, but we're all busy, we have stuff to do. But it's just very eye-opening. Not saying that all family members are great too. That's a whole nother topic for another show. But I'm just saying we need to do a better job, and I really wanted to say something. And so I'm just like, anytime you see something going wrong, it's good to speak up when you can. In that situation, there really wasn't anything I could do. I couldn't call the police or anything like that. But I'll just, say a little prayer for the little boy and even the girl, because she seemed like she was at her wit's end. So maybe she just needed extra help for the flight. And was like, oh, I'll have my boyfriend come with me. But I was just thankful that at least there are enough of us there that nothing really bad happened. But just the way this guy was talking to this kid really bothered me. But anyways, I know it was kind of, not that it was like a Debbie Downer topic today, but it was just something I wanted to address. Sometimes the topics may be a little bit more on the serious side, but I like to keep them kind of upbeat. So hopefully the next episode will be that way. But in the meantime, be sure to follow my social media. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook. You can find me under my name. I post a lot of my outfits and workout routines on Instagram. So if you're into that, be sure to follow. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next episode or any other content I upload. And until next time, have a good one. See ya.